Hello everyone, I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel. You have arrived. For today's video, I am so excited to share with you a brow tutorial. So if you'd like to see how I shape, fill, and kind of clean up my brows a little bit, stick around with me, don't go anywhere, and keep watching. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button, and if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. All right, get real close in, get real close in, stop. See these? These brows are from years of not even too much, I want to say, over plucking, but not plucking in the appropriate places. I plucked my eyebrows way too thin. I didn't understand how to shape them at the time, what to do. And I did this just out of high school. While I was in high school, thin brows were in. It was all the rage. Everybody was doing it. I, for some reason, didn't care at that time. And then I got out of high school and I was like, you know what? I need to ruin my brows. And that's what I did. I'm gonna lean in real close to you. Now here in my brow, here for my brow, way all up in here is somewhere where I totally over plucked. I mean, obvious, right? And then even too, I plucked a little bit too much here. Like I have a hard time of getting some hair to grow up here real thick, and kind of like randomly through the tail of my brow as well. I also even too plucked in really, really far here. So I did a lot of damage. Like it was a very odd shape of a brow, and I enjoyed them. And I look back at them and I'm like, sorry, excuse me. And then years later when I decided I want thick brows, it's not happening. I had a little bit of hair grow back like here pretty good, but there's some hair like randomly here. I just leave that. I don't touch that. We're gonna add to it. Now there's kind of like a universal way of figuring out where you want the placement like to shape your brow, and it's super, super easy, and I wanna show you how to do that first, and then we're gonna jump in how I style and shape and clean up my own brows. First things first, I'm gonna grab this double end brush right here, little duo-sided brush, and it's a number 12 from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Has the angle brush here, and then also has the spoolie side. You could use any other makeup brush that you want to use, or you use a pencil, so anything that's just nice, a little bit slender and super straight like this. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to go right to my nostril. So I'm going to go straight up from my nostril. You don't want to go to the tip of your nose, that's way too far in, and you don't want to go out, that's too far out towards your eyeball. So you want to stay right about in front of your nostril. So I'm gonna go right in front of my nostril and I line it up there, and that's where I want my eyebrow to end on the inside. And then what I like to do to figure this out, I go to my tail end of my brow. So I'm like, all right, got it. And you can even like mark this if you're kind of first learning and you're not sure where the placement is. You're like, I don't remember. You can mark it with like eyebrow pencil or just some like eyeliner pencil, whatever works for you. So boom, right in front of the nostril. And then to take this side, I'm gonna go all the way to the tail end. Now I like to match it up from the outer corner of my eye. So I'm gonna go right to there, and that would be where typically you want the tail end of your eyebrow to stop. And then if I go right a happy medium between the two, that's gonna be where my arch is. So you have the middle, you have the end, and you have your arch. And that's a really helpful way to kind of set up the placement, or not the placement, I guess the shape of your eyebrow. So super, super helpful. Now that we know the shape of our brows, it's time to start filling them in. And for the products I'm going to be using today, they are all from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And the first bad boy I got right here is the Brow Wiz. I absolutely love the Brow Wiz. I'm in soft brown. Let's get these curls just a little bit out of the way. Now you can see a little closer too. All right, once that's for the most part brushed to my liking, I usually like to start with the arch, the under arch of my brow. So I'm gonna take tiny little strokes, just like this, to help to match up. Now, if I ever feel like as I'm brushing the product on and it's like, oh my gosh, you're not going on, I will go back and forth a little bit, but typically you don't want to do that too much to fill it in. Keep it in one direction if you can. But if you get a little frustrated and it won't apply, it's okay to go a little bit back and forth with the liner. There we go. And I want it to be a little bit more rounded. If I would go right up into that, make that sharper, it would be a more sharper edge. But I want to try to make it a little bit round, a little more rounded. Then from there, I'm going to pull it in towards my nose. So I'm going to do just a little bit of a light-handed inner portion of my eyebrow. And I like to keep track of the hairs that are on the bottom here. So I try to like just a couple little bit light little strokes here of the product to kind of match it up with the hairs that are down there. And then from here, I'm slowly going to build it. I'm going to come in a little bit as well and lift it. Now from here, I like to trail to the top of the arch of my brow. So still working with the brow wiz, and I try not to fill too dark with the brow wiz because I am gonna go in with another product from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I don't wanna get too dark with this so my brows aren't too like extreme and in your face. So we're gonna continue on the top. So very carefully now, my hairs end a little bit higher there. I can actually see where some of the brow hairs end. I don't know if you can, but I can. So I'm very lightly gonna go right across there and add. Now I have to go a little bit back and forth here because this one's made a little bit of a curve. Now I'm gonna play with this arch. Some days I try to make them a little bit more rounded, and then some days I can make it a little bit more of a sharper edge, but I typically like the sharp brow. So today we're gonna kind of follow that, and I'm sure it's gonna be a nice sharp edge. What a brow. So once I have that like, almost like a little, not outline, but we have a rough draft of what the brow is gonna be, we're gonna start filling in, really creating a little more of the brow and bringing it to life. So now I'm gonna put down the brow wiz for a second, and I'm gonna pick up the duo-sided brush and the brow powder duo. And this is in dark brown, yes. Now I dropped this, oh gosh, a few days ago. When I have two shades going on here, I like to pick up the lighter shade first, and I usually like to work this, wrong eyebrow, not too far in, just a little bit, because I want to stay a little bit lighter on the inside, and then just keep a little bit of that product out over here. And then I would pick up the darker color and I would shade more into the arch and down into my tail a little bit. Tap the excess off. And here we go, just kind of going through some of the brow hairs, encouraging them where you want them to go. There we go, just a little bit. So I'm kind of ignoring, I'm not going too far in. And I'm gonna pick a little bit more of that lighter shade up and build a little more in, because we're going to switch to the dark in just a moment. Got a little bit of that darker shade, and I'm going to work this underneath and kind of build this just a little bit. And try to, when you're adding your product, whether it's like the brow wiz or it's like a pencil form or powder form, use a very, very light hand. And that just comes with practice. Myself, my brows have really come a long way. And I'll even have days where even I feel like, oh my gosh, my brows, they've made it. I've got this down forever. And then I do them like the next day, and it's like I've never done brows before. It's kind of scary. Oh well. And now to the tail. So we're gonna take this and just very nice and lightly go through the tail. And what I like to do for the tail as well, I try to get a little bit more product, and then I'm gonna take my thumb or index finger, just to make sure it's not dirty. And I just go right like on the side of the tail and pull it out just a little bit so it almost like sharpens it up right there. Now, if it's one of those days where I'm not trying to rush and go real quick, I can take the time and be like, what are you doing there, eyebrow hair? You're not supposed to be there. I'm gonna take my tweezers for this. And once my brow is pretty much done, I'm not gonna fill anymore with this side. It's good to go. I'm gonna find any of those hairs that you just don't want them there, and we're gonna remove them. Here we go. Once you feel you got all the like strays and everybody, you know, all those like stragglers that are very unruly and not supposed to be there, time for the brow gel. Now I have tinted brow gel in Espresso. And I have tinted brow gel because I literally will get random like silver eyebrow hairs that are just like mean mugging people all the time. So I gotta like, instead of plucking, because again, I don't have many hairs left, I had to do it. I had to give in, I had to get the tinted. So clear brow gel if you're still in the clear brow gel phase, or tinted. Here we go. You're a little more refined like me. And then when you're also adding your brow gel, I like to kind of sweep a couple of those hairs up here in the inner portion and then go up and over and very lightly. Don't press down hard on your brows, because then you're gonna move around the product that you've already placed down, and it's smudging and moving, and then you might get too much of the product and it's gonna clump too much on your brows. So just nice light swoosh right across those brow hairs and you're done. You see the difference? Oh. And I think it's like very sad where my brows at one time they looked a little bit fuller and like this on their own. And that's what happens when tweezers get into the wrong hands. Let's quickly get into this side. Added some quick last minute additions, and voila, the finished look. And that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and checking out this video. I really hope that these tips and a little bit of the tricks are just my how-to for filling in and shaping and cleaning up my brows. I really hope it was helpful for you guys today. And let me know in the comments down below, maybe some tips and tricks you have for doing your brows, or maybe some up-and-coming videos you'd like to see, whether it's makeup or curl-friendly. Let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And all of my makeup lovers and my curl friends, make sure that you guys come back next Monday and join me for a new video. Thanks again for watching, and take care. It's destroyed, but oh, I knew I was gonna do something like that. Row 2 is just the like janky one. It never knows what it's doing. Oh, that's better. Going to the dark side.